As society struggles to control and minimize the impact of global warming, trees and plant life in general will undeniably assume a greater role in the overall solution, leaving the arborist to emerge as the environment's hero and remaining steward. Take a glimpse inside the world of modern arboriculture.
Arboriculture literally means the care of trees. And what arborists do is nurture and maintain shade trees, ornamental trees, and so we're not gardeners, but we specialize in the care of trees and woody ornamental plants.
The arborist truly has been an environmental steward since before that term may have been popular. Today, the arborist is simply employing the latest in scientific knowledge and the best practices that they can to sustain the life of trees into their maturity so that we can derive the maximum environmental benefit from those trees possible.
We climb large trees, we prune trees, we fertilize trees, we help extend their life expectancies.
For over 70 years, one nonprofit organization has been the guiding force behind the establishment of arboriculture standards and professional practices, making their collective knowledge accessible to an extensive network of tree care providers, with the goal of supplying the highest professional tree care for trees and landscapes in surrounding communities.
Tree Care Industry Association is a 72-year-old nonprofit organization, national in scope. We have as members commercial arborists, commercial tree care companies. And our aim is to advance professionalism in the commercial arboriculture business.
In order to achieve the goal of sustainability, a tree care service provider must combine business professionalism with the accepted standards of tree care practitioners.
The reason we promote adherence to certain standards of practice is because those standards incorporate the latest in scientific knowledge about the care of trees and about the perpetuation of the life of those trees. So regardless if those standards cover pruning or fertilization or some other aspect of tree health maintenance, adherence to those standards helps ensure the longest possible life of that tree, most productive life of that tree. And as we know, that's important to sustainability because it's that big tree, it's that mature tree from which we can derive the maximum environmental benefit. We have published a whole family of different standards of arboricultural practice, that is, the practices we apply to maintain tree health. Collectively, what they describe is how we go about taking care of trees to maximize their health, to maximize their longevity in the landscape.
Healthy trees and healthy landscapes all serve as invaluable contributors toward a healthier planet.
I want you to think of the leaf of a tree, or the needle of a tree, if you will, as a small solar-powered factory. We typically think of a factory as maybe polluting. This factory actually works against that. It takes in carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, which is a major greenhouse gas, and in a chemical reaction that's powered by sunlight, it produces oxygen that we can breathe, as well as other carbon compounds that the tree uses. So it does two things with solar power. It locks up that carbon dioxide, removes it from the air, and it produces oxygen that we can all breathe. As a matter of fact, 2 mature trees produce enough oxygen in a year for a person. Now obviously, the more of these factories we have, the more product, oxygen, we can produce. And that's the value of the mature shade tree. It has more of these. And that also explains the value of the arborist, the person whose job it is to sustain the health and longevity of this shade tree. There are statistics such as one mature tree can lock up about 500 pounds of carbon in a year. 2 mature trees produce enough oxygen for a person to breathe for an entire year. Trees reduce runoff from stormwater and help reduce or scrub certain pollutants from the air just on their leaf surface. The placement of trees around the house, if it's very strategic, can reduce that house's cooling cost by 30 to 50% over a year. One tree strategically positioned can do the work of 3 room-size air conditioners.
An arborist's daily activities, while seeming unimportant, are part of an important collaboration helping to achieve sustainability.
When we prune a tree and we generate chips, we can either use those chips or compost those chips and put them back into the landscape as an organic mulch. Most people rake up all the leaves out of their landscape, and they're taking away all the things that Mother Nature naturally recycles. So we have to put that organic mulch back into the soils to help sustain the soils.
As a steward of the environment, the modern arborist's role often extends beyond maintaining healthy, beautiful trees and landscapes. It can also present the opportunity to create and participate in truly innovative projects.
We have what's known as a bioswale. And the bioswale takes the water runoff from the parking lot, from the roof of the building, and it puts it into this low-lying area. And there the tree roots and the soil will take the water, cleanse it, and then let it soak down naturally into the earth. This is an example of habitat restoration. And we have this invasive Himalayan blackberry. Picture this slope. About 8 years ago was 8 to 10 feet high, absolutely covered with this invasive species. Now this habitat in here is even better suited for the native wildlife than the invasive blackberries. So we've now improved the habitat for wildlife, and also I think we've made it a much more beautiful place than it was before.
The Tree Care Industry Association assists commercial arborists by promoting, cultivating, and maintaining a standard of professionalism. The association continuously strives to improve the industry with its various safety and educational programs. Ensuring a knowledgeable and capable workforce is the result of its credentialing, standards, and accreditation programs.
Accreditation is a credentialing program for tree care businesses that looks at their sum total of their business practice, including safety, consumer relations, all aspects of their business really, and sets a very high standard for those businesses to attempt to attain.
Accreditation assures the public that they're getting a high quality and very professional tree care firm that is fully insured and will care for their trees properly.
The important tie-in, I think, to sustainability is that the company with whom you can do business on a regular basis and be reasonably assured of the outcome is one that can help you in your effort to sustain the health and longevity of your landscape and therefore the environmental benefit.
Combining business acumen, scientific knowledge, and an artist's passion, the modern arborist's mission is to sustain the health and growth of all mature trees, ensuring the resulting environmental and aesthetic benefits they produce.
Being stewards of the land, of the trees, I think our job is to make sure that those trees pass on to the next generation.
To learn more about arborists or how modern arboricultural practices can deliver diverse, long-lasting, and cost-effective results, contact the Tree Care Industry Association by visiting www.tcia.org.